Up next, the 25-lap GNC1 main event. Chris, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. This is going to be very interesting. Been a while since our heat race winners have been on the racetrack, as well as the second-place riders. You know, maybe some of these riders that rode in the semi on the third row might have an advantage, knowing what the racetrack's like now. Versus what it was like when the sun was still out during the heat races.
You think some of those GNC1 riders are back there watching that GNC2 main and learning some lines maybe from the 14A?
I sure would have, yes. Myself, I would have been watching that one.
Getting everything figured out. As soon as we get the riders set in the field, what takes a little bit of time is the riders get to pick their spots in the main event, so that's what they're doing. They're staging them up right now. In just a moment, we'll go through the starting lineup, but it's been a great night of racing so far. I had more incidents in turns 1 and 2 than I was expecting. I was expecting more of the action to be over here in turn number 3.
Well, you know, the turn 1 and 2 is essentially a tighter version. The difference is it's a very rounded corner on the outside, but it's also kind of pointed on the inside, a little square, a little narrower. But, you know, these guys have done a fantastic job of navigating a tough racetrack tonight. And in a lot of ways, it's developed a few of the bumps. They're riding a shape or a dimension that they're not really used to. And the cream's going to rise to the top tonight.
Barry Weiss out there from Storage Wars and Barry Treasure out there talking to the number 2 Cool Beth's bike. That's Kevin Atherton and David Atherton right there. And there's Cool Beth again. They come. However they finish in their heat races is how they get to pick their spots on the lines, again, according to your heat races and then your semifinals. So after we get everybody staged up and ready, we will give you the starting lineup of tonight's Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance & Hines main event. It will be 18 of the fastest riders, 25 laps around this racetrack here in Austin, Texas, just down the hill from the Circuit of the Americas road race course where all the action will be tomorrow afternoon. So if you're sticking around, I hope everybody has a good time tomorrow. You're going to stick around, and
I believe I will be over there checking out the action. You know, I mean, it's not we have one opportunity to see 2 of the best, you know, most popular motorcycle racers. You know, especially Valentino Rossi. He doesn't come to America but about once a year now. So great opportunity to go over there, see the heroes of MotoGP, and look forward to seeing some good racing there as well.
Once again, getting everybody staged up. We're going to send them into the infield, and then we'll introduce them. So 25-lap main event's coming up next. Chris, who's going to win?
Well, you know, I've been talking all day about Brad Baker. To me, this seems to be his kind of track. He's sitting on the pole, won the fastest heat race. Right now, it would be difficult for me to bet against him. But stranger things have happened in AMA Pro Racing, especially here on the flat track circuit. It's going to be interesting to watch it all play out.
So it looks like the last rider's pulling up to the line right now. Again, in the GNC1 class, we started with 40 riders, and we've narrowed it down to the fastest 18 riders. Nobody's using a provisional here tonight, so we only have 18 of them.
Only 18. All the top 10 riders from last year's points are in the final tonight, so that's good to see. Doesn't appear to be any rookies that have made the final, so right now it appears that experience has been the key in getting around this racetrack. And it looks like
Cool Beth
interesting
on the 4th row.
Cool Beth decided to start inside 4th row versus being in the 5th spot on the outside.
Or maybe switch to a backup bike. Can you do that?
You could switch to a bike. I don't think there's a penalty on that.
Okay, so maybe he just likes that starting spot.
Yeah, or he did switch. I'm not sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment we've been waiting for. The Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance & Hines 25-lap Grand National main event. We'll start tail of the field, ladies and gentlemen, 18th pick on the 3rd row from Meade, Washington on the Weeblers Harley-Davidson entry, national number 16, Wyatt McGuire. We saw this rider. He picked to start on the 4th row, ladies and gentlemen. He's a 3-time Grand National champion riding the Zanatti Racing Harley-Davidson Motor Company entry. Makes his home now in Center Hill, Florida. Makes a noise for number 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Starting 16th, the teammate to the last rider I just announced. He's also the Zanatti Racing Classic Harley-Davidson Motor Company entry from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Number 5, Jersey, Jake Johnson. Also on the third row, the Colkman Racing Kawasaki entry from Ventura, California. National number 98, Cale Colkman. Also starting back here on row number 3, the USC Racing James Hart Racing entry riding the Kawasaki 650. He makes his home in Wynn, Michigan. Number 17, Henry Wiles. Starting 13th, way back here on the third row, the Corey Texter Racing Cycle World McElroy Packaging entry riding the Kawasaki from Willow Street, Pennsylvania. Number 65, Corey Texter. Last rider on the front row from Pensacola, Florida, the Lloyd Brothers Motorsports Ducati entry. National number 10, Johnny Lewis. We're still on row number 2. This rider from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, the Doug Lawrence Racing Town Moto Harley-Davidson. National number 73, Dougie Fresh, Doug Lawrence. Starting 10th back here on row number 2, the Scott Power Sports McGrain Racing Kawasaki makes his home in Blaine, Minnesota. Number 29, Jake the Snake Mataya. Starting ninth pick out there, the Kennedy Racing Armbruster Racing Harley-Davidson entry. The rider from Oxford, Pennsylvania, number 44, Brendan Robinson. Starting 8th, this rider won the gold medal when we were here last June. The Crosley Brands TNT Construction Howerton Motorsports Kawasaki from Swartz Creek, Michigan. Number 42, Flying Brian Smith. Last rider on row number 2 makes his home in Clio, Michigan. 3-time Grand National champion riding the Las Vegas Harley-Davidson Rogers Racing entry on the Harley. Number 1, the Jammer, Jared Mees. And now we're all the way up to the front row. These riders finished first or second in their heat race. The first riders from Salinas, California, the Kawasaki 650 Weirbach Racing Unlimited Kawasaki. Number 14, Briar Bauman. This next rider was our fast qualifier earlier this afternoon from Mossville, Illinois. The R&R Racing Big Dog Country Saloon Harley-Davidson, number 27. It's Bugs Robbie Pearson. Starting 4th. Picked up a win down in Daytona earlier this year from Graham, Washington, riding the BriggsAuto.com Martin Trucking entry, and also has Evel Knievel Museum behind him. Number 69, Slammin' Sammy Halbert. The next 3 riders won their heat races. Up first will be from Salinas, California, the CR Motorsports Alpine Stars entry, riding the Harley-Davidson. Number 80, Stevie Bonzi. Second pick on the front row, the Babe DeMay Memphis Shades Yamaha entry. It's a Yamaha FZ07. He won his heat race. He comes to us from Brisbane, California. Number 66, Dominic Colindres. And on the pole, ladies and gentlemen, the bronze winner from last year at the X Games. From Eatonville, Washington, the Factory Harley-Davidson Motor Company, Vance and Hines Harley. Number 6, they call him the Bullet, Brad Baker. Before we start the main, let's go trackside with Heather, who's caught up with our pole setter.
That's right, guys. I'm here with our pole sitter, Brad Baker. Brad, you've been very smooth tonight. What is your key to getting around this half mile as fast as you have been?
Like you just said, smooth. This track takes a little bit of patience. It's small and tactical on these big bikes, so a good start is always nice. So trying to get that whole shot and just get out to the lead and put in some smooth laps. But got a lot of good guys out here to race against, so it's not going to be easy, but just going to try to do my best.
Now, I've asked a lot of riders this. Do you have a preferred line that you like to ride here at Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I think trying to make these straightaways as long as you can, make a good apex, and then get the thing turned is the way to go.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, the field's been set. Chris Carr, 25 laps coming up. Are you ready?
I am ready to see these guys get it on here. Brad Baker looks to be in stealth mode here, not showing a whole lot of emotion. even told pretty much the whole field what he's going to do. And he says, "Come and get me, boys." That's the way I read that.
He feels pretty confident. He feels like he wasn't going to tell everybody where he's going to run, but if he can get through the bumps, keep it on 2 wheels, that might be the man to beat right there.
But he's right. You know, any kind of racing, it doesn't matter if it's a dirt oval, a motocross, or a road race. You got to get it in. You got to get the bike turned. You got to get it picked up on the fat part of the tire, because when you're straight up and down, you can pour the coals to it. And I think that Brad Baker's done that best so far tonight. Got 25 more laps to prove that he's a championship contender once again.
They're going to give him 1 lap to check out the racetrack. Again, the front row hasn't been on the racetrack since our heat races, so that was earlier today when we started. And so they get 1 lap to check it out. And again, row number 3 is the riders that did it the hard way. And Coolbeth, interesting, picking the 4th row starting spot. He said, "I'm going to start on the inside."
Well, you know, it's not a bad idea. You know, I think he was left with either the 5th or 6th starting spot on the 3rd row. He goes off the inside of the 4th row. He has that option. He can go into the corner, just kind of let whatever happens in front of him happen, and then just kind of avoid the chaos and pick a few of them off along the inside.
Smart move. Veteran rider, probably the oldest rider in competition in the GNC1 class. He's going to ride smart.
39 years old. He's been at this game for over 20 years.
I believe he was Rookie of the Year back in 1993.
93 or 4, certainly.
Man.
Yeah, he's no stranger to this. He was a pretty young expert. I think he was about 17 when we first saw him on the circuit.
94.
That's a veteran
You're right.
move.
94, some 22 years ago. Man. All right, stage has been set, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the main event. I'm Scotty Dubler alongside the 7-time champ Chris Carr. We're here to call the action as we see it here on this half mile in Austin. Brand new track designed by my partner beside me, Chris Carr. We're in for 25 laps of hang on.
Hang on. These guys here, this is what they've been looking forward to since we left Daytona just over a month ago. Now, we're going to see who gets to brag for the next month to the next round.
Here we go. Bikes are in gear. Clutches are in. Second yellow light's a quick green light, and they're off. Clutches are out. Dominic Klinder's trying to lead it in there, but it's the Bullet. Brad Baker's going to lead him in the first corner. Up high is the 44 of Robinson. Here they come through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway.
Wow, they're all spread out down the back straightaway. Coolbeth kind of picks his way. We have one rider slow at the back of the field having some issues.
No harm, no foul. It's the Bullet. Brad Baker's going to lead lap 1. Looks like Pearson's in second. Here comes Meese now up there, and Bonzi's right there. Remember, Meese started back in row number 2. He's coming to the front in a hurry.
And up into the second, he's getting a good run off of turn 2. Let's see if he can complete that pass on Pearson, headed on into this end.
Pearson goes in a little bit higher, hangs on a little bit longer, and still hangs on to second. Now Meese sets his sights up the inside of Pearson for second. It's the Bullet. Brad Baker trying to check out, get out of town in a hurry. Baker on the factory Harley pulling away.
Certainly doing that, a little banging back through the field. Saw a little contact between the 42 and the 69. Smith and Halbert coming together at the apex at turn 2. Pearson doing a great job there, holding off the number 1 of Jared Meese as Brad Baker starts to inch himself away. Turns the lap at 19.18. One of the fastest laps of the day.
I really thought Bonzi would be up there with the lead, but he's stuck in traffic back in the 4th spot. Now he tries to go high around Meese. Now Meese goes up the inside, takes the 2nd spot away from Pearson. Pearson is not going to settle for that. He comes back up the inside, going into turn number 1. It's Baker out front. Now Meese in second, Pearson third. Now the 80 Stevie Bonzi said, "Hey man, I'm not going anywhere. I'm tired of following these guys." He tries to high line it and backs up a little bit.
Yeah, we see Pearson kind of go up a little wide that time, try to change the angle of entrance into the apex of the corner, but Jared Meese stretches out just a little bit. Let's see if he has anything for the number 6 of Brad Baker up front. He's got 20 more laps in order to make a dent in the lead of the number 6.
5 laps in the book. It's Baker out front, Meese in second, Pearson third, Bonzi 4th, Calindras 5th, Robinson 6th, Sammy Halbert 7th, our gold medal winner Brian Smith 8th, Doug Lawrence 9th, Jake Johnson, and rounds out your top 10. Johnson coming from the 3rd row is up to 10th.
Yeah, that's a good run for him so far. We'll have to watch his progress forward.
Woo!
Baker, ride him cowboy into turn 3, rear his tail end gets up off the seat about 6-8 inches that time in. These guys are going to trap. Problem with Baker's motorcycle.
Baker knew it right away. Something happened.
I have a feeling that might have been a spit chain there somehow. I'm not sure what the issue is, but Jared Mees, not only does he inherit the lead, he inherits a big lead.
And he is out front. So Mees is out front. Bonzi doing everything he can to get around Pearson for second. Pearson hanging on to that second spot right now. Remember, at the X Games last year, Meese was way out in front of that one, had a mechanical on the very last lap in turns 1 and 2. The nut came off the sprocket. Basically same thing as losing a chain.
Certainly is. Maybe there's redemption, but you know what? We're looking at, we got a little more than 15 laps. This track is not going to get any smoother. We sit there, something different. The chain is on that motorcycle. Number 6, Brad Baker, something else has expired on this one. Not sure what it is.
He's taking a look down. He wanted to see if the chain was still on there, too, and checking over the motorcycle. Still Meese out front, Pearson in second. Bonzi's in third as lap number 10 goes in the books already. Behind him, it's Sammy Halbert fourth, Robinson fifth, Calendra sixth, Brian Smith, Jake Johnson, Doug Lawrence, and now Briar Bauman rounds out your top 10.
Well, certainly Meese hasn't appeared to be very fast all night long, but he just reels off the fastest lap of the night a couple laps ago, 18.97.
Made a slight mistake down there in 1 and 2. No harm, no foul, still hanging on to it. Now looks like Sammy Halbert starting to catch up to the 80 bike of Stevie Bonzi, who's in that third spot.
The 69, our point leader, he's going to want to, he knows Jared Meese down 15 points in the standings. Jared's going to get a good chunk of that right now. Sammy Halbert's going to dig deep to try and reduce the damage. If he can find himself into second by the time this is over, he only loses 4 of the 5 points based on who leads the most laps, as we're halfway in, 13 laps down.
Halfway lap, the lucky 13 lap award winner. We'll have to figure that out in just a minute, but it's Meese out front, Pearson in second. Here comes Sammy Halbert looking up the inside on Bonzi as they go into 3. Through the bumps they go. Both riders, both wheels up in the air as they go into turn number 3.
Yeah, that's track is getting rougher by the lap. It doesn't appear that the outer line going around on the smoothest part of that bumpy area into turn 3, Jared Meese kind of hitting the corner, kind of straight head on. You notice they're not really flicking the bike sideways. You do that, they just got to kind of go in, let the bike absorb the bumps. When it settles, then finish the turn.
I'm surprised that nobody's run that line that Dalton Gauthier was working around the bumps in 3 and 4. Nobody's gone up there yet, at least none of the front runners. One bike off the pace over there outside turn number 2 down over there.
I have a feeling it's a little dry there up on the outer edge. Halbert trying to go up the inside, makes the pass stick on the 80 of Bonzi. We'll see if Bonzi can grab the bit between the teeth and go back after him. But Sammy Halbert doing a good job limiting the damage that the number 1 is causing.
Now Matthias having problems with the 29 bike. Another rider who had problems just a few moments ago is the 2 of Kenny Coolbeth. He is down a few laps, so Coolbeth out of the race, going to lose a lot of points here tonight. Battle of attrition right now.
Certainly is. This is not an easy racetrack. It's developed a few of the holes along the way. Jared Meese navigating them well. Halbert now trying to inch forward on the 27 of Pearson. They get through the bumps, let it drift. Yep. See Coolbeth, there's his motorcycle in the infield.
Coolbeth out of the night. Also Baker's out. A couple laps down is Jake Matthias, so it's getting tough out there. It's Meese out in front. Here's the battle for second. Bugs has second. Sammy's in the third spot. Bonzi's right there in fourth. It could be between these 3 riders of who finishes up front. You can see that is David Addison pushing back the number 2, the Zanatti Racing bike. Tough night for them.
Out front, the number 1, Jared Meese, navigating the holes into turn 3, skids it across the rubber. There's a little bit of moisture up there on that outer part of the racetrack. I think it might be a little bit more grip than there is on the blue.
5 laps to go here in Austin. Now we might be getting into some lap traffic, see if that becomes a factor. It is Meese out in front. He's got a huge margin last time by. It was 1.998 seconds over the 27 of Pearson. Third is Sammy Halbert. Fourth is Bonzi. Calendra's in fifth. Robinson
we got
seventh.
The 14 of Bauman down.
He's down right.
See if he can get that thing picked up. Looks like the red is out.
He reached down and hit the kill button on the Weerbach Kawasaki, so Bauman didn't see him go down. His foot pegs way back up the track a little bit.
Tough break for Bauman, and even tougher break for Jared Meese.
Ooh.
Wow.
Bauman's not too happy. He's going to walking off, going back to the pit area, and the 14 bikes look like it's seen better days as the left side of the tail section is completely ripped off, and he will go back to the pit area.
Jared Mees is probably thinking to
What the
himself,
heck?
what do I have to do to win myself a race here in Austin? You know, now we're going to revert this back. It'll be a 5-lap dash.
Basically,
for
yeah,
the first
exactly.
AMA Grand National victory here at the Circuit of the Americas.
From looked like where they picked the machine up on the 14, looked like he was, almost coming off of the corner.
Yeah, it looked like coming off the corner, may have spun out. We didn't see the wreck, obviously, but tough break for Briar Bauman.
So Bauman goes back to the pit area. Kenny Coolbeth back to the pit area. Man, a few riders off the pace. Right now, the last time they went across the start-finish line, it was Meese, Pearson, Halbert, Bonzi 4th, Calendras 5th, Robinson 6th, Brian Smith 7th, Jake Johnson, Doug Lawrence. Now Henry Wiles rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, good run for those guys. As we see
Doug Lawrence pushes his bike pretty quickly over there, maybe to get closer to where his starter is, and his dad, Doug Sr., to start these bikes. When that track's ready to go, they'll fire them up, and we'll have a staggered restart. They're going to have to paint stripes on the front straightaway for a staggered restart, the first one of the night.
Yeah, first one of the night. We thought we were going to see one in the Hooligans race, but
they have their own rules.
But they had their own rules, and so they're going to get that lined up. You got to think that number one, Jared Mees, feels pretty comfortable with the way things are going. But interesting enough, that last lap under green, the 27 of Robbie Pearson cut his personal best, fastest lap of the race. We'll see if there's a possibility him to move forward on this.
All right, so getting things figured out. Your lucky 13 lap award winner, $1,000 to the lap 13 award. That will be Jared Meese, and I believe Kim is caught up with Kenny Coolbeth. Let's go down to the pit area and see if we can catch up to Kenny.
Yes, Scotty, Denny here with Kenny. Out of the race early. Tell us what happened.
We've been struggling with keeping our chains on all day. I don't know why, because of the rough track and we have such a big gear on. I don't know, but that's what happened. And I was feeling good. I was just kind of playing it safe and, getting the hang of it. I felt pretty good there, and then that happened. But I don't know, whatever. It's racing. It's hard to keep your head up, and I got good sponsors behind me, so it's good.
How challenging will it be to make up the point deficit going forward?
Very challenging. It's almost impossible. So that's why I'm so bummed out. I'm not getting any younger, and so I put a lot of effort into myself, and it's racing. So we'll go on and go home and for a month and train and see what we can do in Arizona.
Thanks, Kenny. Very disappointed Kenny Coolbeth out of the race early. Now we're going to go down to the infield with Heather DeBow. Yeah, you just caught up with Kenny Coolbeth. I'm going to catch up with his teammate, Jake Johnson. Jake, we talked earlier today. You had some electrical issues on your other bike. How's this bike run for you so far in this main event?
So far, so good. It's we made our way through the pack quite a bit, but that front group was pretty gone, and obviously the closer you get to the front, the faster the guys are, and the harder they are to pass. So we're going to try to take some advantage of this restart, and I think it's going to be a 5-lap shootout. So hopefully we can get a good jump on this deal and try to put it towards the front.
Now, for the fans that are watching, this is a different restart here. We're going to have a staggered restart. Talk about what that's like compared to other restarts.
It's a little better. You don't have anybody in front of you, so you can just let that thing rip and not have to worry about dodging or weaving, and just try to get there.
All right, well, good luck in the rest of the main.
Thanks.
So I wonder what's going through his head. He's seen Kenny Coolbeth came up short a couple of times. Is he worried about that, do you think? I mean, they got the same, coming out of the same camp, and Coolbeth's chains came off twice.
Oh, I would imagine that it can be a concern. I look at, it appears if you could have maybe rocked the chain back on the Coolbeth bike and circulated, at a slower pace, might pick up a couple positions, but when you roll the bike off the racetrack, you're done. Bauman, rider who the red came out for, he rolled off. Coolbeth might have been able to pick up a point or two if he was able to get that chain back on the bike and ride around from that point on by circulating and getting laps.
On the screen, we're looking at the.
But he only has 4 laps completed or 3 laps completed, so a tough break for him.
Bullet Brad Baker's bike. The team's looking at, they've taken the spark plugs out. They're looking into the cylinders through the spark plug holes and just trying to figure out what exactly happened to the 6. As soon as it happened, Baker knew something went wrong for sure there. You can see him turning the motor over with the big wrench they stick in the side of the crankshaft.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that
not much compression.
Well, not much compression at all, but you know, when you have the spark plug out, they usually don't.
All right, bikes are firing up once again on the starting line. This one is up to Jared Meese. Robbie Pearson's there. I'm going to say keep your eyes on that 69. He can see the leaders now. He's an aggressive rider. He's got.
Well, and he's
caught up to him.
He's caught up. It's like, you know, this guy, you know, he got off to a great start. He's hungry. He wants to win a championship. You know, he's running the number 69 in honor of his late older brother Jethro Halbert, and so it's going to be one of those deals.
Here we go. 5-lap dash. Watch the green light. We're going racing. Here we go. Meese will lead him off the start into turn number 1. Here comes Johnson up the inside. Now Bonzi goes around the outside. He's going to try to take that second spot away. It's going to be one of Meese. Bonzi moves up into the second. Look at the dogfight for second, third, and fourth. Down the back straightaway. Here we go.
Halbert up the inside. Pearson comes up out of the saddle quite a bit going into turn 3. These guys are aggressive. There's 4 laps remaining.
And now here comes Dominic Clinders, who's also a young, aggressive rider. He puts a handlebar up there. He takes that 4th spot away. Robinson looks like he can't find his brake pedal. He might be out of brakes. He goes way off the racetrack almost. It's Pearson who sets his sights on Meese. Meese slips a little bit wide in the lead, but everybody followed him up there, so no harm, no foul. Meese again out front. Pearson in second. Sammy Albert's in that 3rd position.
Yeah, Jake Johnson had moved up a couple positions. Steve Bonzi dropping back to the 5th spot. 27, Pearson gets by the 69. Halbert wrestles that thing through the ruts going into turn 3. Calendris up on the outside trying to make it happen.
2 laps to go here in Austin. It's coming down to the final few laps. It is still out front. Jared Meese, number 1. Pearson in second. Sammy Halbert third. Behind him, it's Bonzi and Calendris, your top 5. Now Johnson sets his sights on the 66 machine trying to take over 5th.
I tell you what, these guys are doing a great job of navigating that turn 3. That is not very easy for these guys to get through there on 4 to 5 inches of suspension. With here we are on the final lap. Jared Meese doing it better than anybody, showing why he's the number 1 plate holder.
Less than a half a lap to go. Meese, if he keeps it on 2 wheels, keeps the motor running, he's going to pick up the win here at the Grand National. Probably a little bit more to him than the X Games, but it's Meese, your winner. Pearson's going to hang on to second, his best ever career finish at a Grand National. The pyro goes off in the infield. The rest of the riders making their way across the start-finish line. And again, we talked to him earlier. Feels like this racetrack owed him one. He'll pick up the win. Pearson has to be happy with second place, I would think.
I would think so. You know, that's I believe this might be the first podium for Robbie Pearson, the 27 in his career, to finish second here at Circuit of the Americas. Good job by the 27, Robbie Pearson, veteran racer out of Illinois. Good job for him.
Let's go down back in the pit area, catch up with Brad Baker, see what happened to the 6 bike.
Yeah, Scotty here with Brad Baker. Brad, out of the race early. We saw your team looking at the bike. Can you tell us more what happened?
We're not exactly sure what happened just yet. The thing just went dead on me. It didn't make any noise or anything that leads to tend that it might have been an ignition problem. Just ran out of spark. Very upsetting, you know. It's one thing to just, you know, fail out of a race because of a mechanical failure, but to be leading it at the same time, it's definitely a heartbreaker. Put a lot of hard work and time, dedication. I mean, this is my life, and you know, have it taken away from me for something like that sucks. But you know, can't still give a big enough thanks to Harley-Davidson, Vance and Hines. They worked the tail off. Wasn't their fault. Just it's racing. You know, things happen. It doesn't make it any more you know, non-upsetting, but we'll just, you know, come back stronger the next time and push forward. But I wish I was celebrating a win right now. But, you know, like I said, it's racing. Just try to keep my head up and move on.
Thanks, Brad. That's Brad Baker. Back to the booth.
Well, with Jared Meese taking a victory lap with his Mrs. Meese, Nicole, former Grand National racer. Jared wanted to do a smoky burn out there in front of the stands. I think he's got a measure of redemption from what transpired here in 2015 June at the inaugural X Games. He comes back to win the inaugural AMA Pro Flat Track here at the Circuit of the Americas. Great job to him. Congratulations to him and his team.
He's headed up to the victory podium where he wants to be, and he has done it early this year. And we'll go down trackside. Heather DeBow, take it away.
As you guys said, definitely redemption here for Jared Mees. He's getting his helmet off. He's having a good time. He's screaming woo to his crew. They're going to get him a hat here so he can kind of cool off just a little bit. That was a long race out there, a quick 5-lap dash to finish it up. Jared, what you got in the bag there? I see you're grabbing a little bit of water, which you definitely deserve. Is it all about redemption for you here in Austin?
You know, kind of, yeah. I mean, you go into every race just wanting to win, but this place owed me one big time. And, you know, unfortunately for Brad, I don't know if I'd had anything for him. I just started settling into my groove and kind of was going into turn 3, but he was getting me off 4. So don't know if I could have ran him down. You know, that red flag could have played in somebody's favor there. But, you know, when I seen that, I go, well, don't do this to me. You owe me this time, you know. So it's good to... It's really good to come out here this early and win, especially in front of the great crowd here at MotoGP. And really just needed this for the confidence for all of us. We had a so-so Daytona. We sucked in qualifying. Had an okay heat race. And, you know, just communicating with Kenny Tolbert is the biggest key to the victory between him and I, honestly. I mean, just trying to communicate what we need to do. And we have exhaust bike combinations and carburetor combinations that he knows, so we can relate very, very well to get what we want. And the credit goes to my team tonight, honestly. I mean, I wasn't riding for crap. The bike was just that great.
Well, that sounds great. And you already thanked some of your team here because of how hard you have worked. Kenny Tolbert, now you were talking about making changes on the bike. How good is your communication between you and Kenny? You guys have worked together for a long time. What's that like? Are you guys friends away from the track as well?
No, not really. I don't like the guy. No. I love him to death, man. I really do. I got so much respect and just so much faith in him that, you know, he never seems to let me down. And, yeah, I mean, we communicate real well, like I said. And the whole Rogers Racing team, SDI Installation, Las Vegas, Harley-Davidson, Saddleman, Millennium Technologies, Monster Energy Drink, National Cycle, TCX Boots, Bell Helmets is a big one, Twin Power with Tucker Rocky, Motion Pro, the Extremely Fit, just the whole list is just really huge. KW Race Gear, just everybody. I mean, I'm trying to look. I'm just so excited. Tommy Duma Fine Jewelers. Man, if I forgot you, I'm so sorry. But just very excited for the win. The Las Vegas Harley-Davidson was running great, and I'm just excited to be up here.
Well, congratulations on capturing the first ever GNC1 victory here at Austin. Congratulations.
One of the biggest keys tonight was these D&D exhaust pipes. That's for dang sure.
Thanks, Jared. All right, guys, it's been a great event so far.
Well, Chris, he said he didn't know if he could have caught Brad Baker, but we looked at his best lap time, 1:8.970. Brad Baker's best lap time, I know his main event was cut short, was a 1:9.038. So it could have been close. You never know what would have happened, but anything can happen in racing, as we've seen.
Yeah, you never do know. And as we get ready to head it back down to the podium with Heather and our second place finisher.
Heather, take it away with Bugs Pearson.
Yeah, I'm here with Bugs Pearson. He was just talking to Jared. Jared just leaned over and said, man, did you finish second? He said, heck yeah, I did. It's good to see you up here, buddy. How does it feel to get another podium finish?
Yeah, it feels really good. It's been a while, but the Harley was working awesome. I mean, so we had a good shot at winning, and the thing was working all day. So to get second and improve on my best finish is awesome, and congrats to these guys too.
Now, what did you think about this track overall here in Austin, this half mile, the Lone Star half mile, as they call it?
I like it. I like this dirt. It's sticky. You fix a couple holes, and this is a great racetrack.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on your second place finish.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I have to thank my whole crew. My family's the number one supporter. My dad's been working really hard, and Bob Barry's been helping him too. But R&R Racing, Country Saloon, Rig Dog, Clipper Industry, Indian Motorcycles of Wapella, and Lafayette, just north of Indianapolis. The list goes on, but I got to thank all the guys that supported me, and hopefully we'll be back up here next race.
Well, we'd love to see you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bugs Pearson is his career best finish. He said just improved on it, and he's on his second place.
That's
not too bad.
Fantastic, especially here in with an international crowd of spectators. Awesome job by Pearson. As we get ready to send it on back down to the podium to Heather with third place finisher Sammy Halbert.
That's right. We see Sammy here on the podium again. You were on the podium twice in Daytona. Round 3, you made it up here. Talk about your run tonight.
Yeah, I didn't get a very good start, and then Calinders got kind of squirrely in front of me, and I almost went down. So I was kind of marred in the back of the pack, battling with Brian Smith, and just it was hairy back there, especially with the hole into turn 3 and just guys going everywhere. So it was pretty hairy. Had some big moments, and then I kind of found my line and started really charging turns 1 and 2, and made up some spots and stuff like that. Got into third, and then the restart and got into second briefly, but Bugs just kind of bonsaied around the outside of me and made a good move, and I kind of had to go over the inside berm into turn 3 and or up onto it, and it was pretty hairy. Almost went down a few times, but happy to get on the box and keep my podium streak alive.
Now, was there anything else you could have done to get up there, because you really were charging and trying hard?
Yeah, for sure. On that. On the first run there, my brakes started fading, so I kind of backed off them a little bit. But the restart really gave me another shot at it. But I think I needed to try a different line going into turn 3. I was sticking with what I was doing, but it was just really bucking me. And I think the other guys were going in a little bit wider. I was just scared to try it because it was just so hairy going into there. And I just knew what I was doing was working somewhat, and I just kept doing that. But I probably should have tried a different line into there.
I know you've been working hard. You obviously have to thank some people, correct?
Yeah, I got a great team behind me. The whole BriggsAuto.com team has been a huge supporter of mine, and Martin Trucking, the Evil Knievel Museum, an awesome new supporter of us, and Enerlon, Lucas Oil, Kibble White, Sullivan Race Schools, everybody for helping me out. 60 helmets, got a bunch of backers, Motion Pro, and everybody. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much, Sammy. Guys, that's another podium finish here tonight in round 3 for Sammy Halbert.
Once again, congratulations. Jared Meese taking the win. Robbie Pearson second. Sammy Halbert third. Stevie Bonsi, who won a heat race earlier, finishes fourth. And Jake Johnson coming from the third row all the way up to a fifth place finish. Not too bad. Sixth will go to Dominic Calinders on the Yamaha. Seventh will be Brian Smith. Eighth, Doug Lawrence. Ninth, Henry Wiles. And a top 10 for Johnny Lewis on the Ducati. 11th through 18th is Kel Kochman, Wyatt McGuire, Brandon Robinson, Corey Texter, Jake Mattia, Briar Bauman, Kenny Coolbeth, and again a tough break for our early leader, the Bullet Brad Baker, the factory Harley. Had a little bit of an issue down there and came up a little bit short. Chris?
Wow, pretty good debut for AMA Pro Flat Track. I think we proved that we got a track that has a pretty good formula. We just got to figure out how we can make that dirt a little bit smoother, make this track a little bit racier. We saw a lot of passing despite the challenges that many of the riders had to meet. But overall, a pretty good debut for AMA Pro Flat Track here at COTA.
Let's go down to the pit area podium. Kim Coons has caught up with some of our award winners from the GNC2 main event. Kim?
Here with Kevin Stallings, who was Rookie of the Race, thanks to Larry and Judy McElroy. Describe your race and what it took to do what you did.
I got the whole shot in the first one, and then they red flagged it, so we had to restart and got a really good whole shot again, and then I couldn't get corner 3 down, so I kept coming up wide, and then Andrew Luker and Colby, they got right in front of me, and then I got passed by a few more, but I finally figured it out after there was 5 laps to go, so I figured it out, and I just kept coming back, and I picked, I got Ryan Wells, and then Dalton's sliding shoe fell off, so kind of messed him up a little bit, so I got him on the last lap, and then ended up getting third.
Congratulations, Kevin Stallings, highest finishing rookie of the GNC2.
Thanks a lot, Kim. Congratulations, that young up-and-comer is only his third professional race, and we watched him come up through the amateur ranks, and he's getting a little bit taller.
Yeah, yes, he is. He's not a little squirt anymore.
Yeah. Good, solid finishing. See Meese and the rest of the people enjoying the victory down here on the victory podium. That was Jared Meese's 17th career Grand National victory, and it comes down here in Austin. I believe Kim Coons already caught up with our next award winner. I believe that's Kyle McGrain, a tall rider from Pennsylvania. Kim?
It is Kyle McGrain. He's the Energia fast-moving award of the race. You passed the most bikes. What was the key to moving your bike forward?
Just staying consistent, riding my line, just trying to pick off as many people as I could.
Now that you've completed the race here at the half mile, what did you think?
It was a tough track. I trying to just pick my line. It was really rough coming into 3 and 4. You just had to be careful where you went and just made big passes.
So congratulations again, the Energia Fast Moving Award.
He might need to have an Energia. It sounds like he's already on his decline. He might be run out of energy, so might need an Energia drink. He picks up $300 because he picked up the most positions in that GNC2 main event. There's Bugs Pearson and his family, his dad right there, and moving up there, Barry Weiss gave him a shake right there. That's pretty cool, man, finishing second here at COTA.
Yeah, get a handshake from a television star. Good for him. Great job by Robbie Pearson. You know, I think a lot of people have said about Robbie. He's certainly got the talent to win. He's one step a little bit closer here. I'm not surprised by his good result here. You see the top 2 guys on the podium here. These guys ride a lot of all 3 guys on the podium ride a lot of different races. You know, I predicted a while back that I thought Mies and I thought Halbert would be the 2 guys to beat here. I didn't think that it was going to take Brad Baker to break in order to make that happen, but I'm not surprised with the results of what we see here.
Let's go back into the pit area one more time. Our West Side Truck Parts picked up 3 randomly selected finishes this week. They picked up 2nd, 7th, and 10th, and I believe Kim's caught up to our finishers. Let's go back to the pit area podium.
That's right. Colby Carlisle finished 2nd. Colby, tell us about your race.
You know, the key to it was just really being smooth and smart, and I just had a little luck in there too to make my way up to 2nd, but it's good.
And Kyle McGrain, you finished 10th. Tell us a little bit more about your race. We heard you earlier, but can you give us any more about what it took to finish 10th?
Just staying on the groove, trying to make people make mistakes and then just get by them.
And then John Vanderlane took 7th.
All right, so congratulations to those 3 riders. A brand new award, the West Side Truck Parts. It's a random award. Earlier in the day, they picked out 3 positions and ended up being 2nd, 7th, and 10th. They picked up an extra $300. Special thanks to West Side Truck Parts. I believe we're going to go down to the victory podium, and Heather DeBose caught up with another award winner. Heather?
That's right, guys. I'm back with our winner for the evening, Jared Mies. He's cleaning up down here. He's got a great award, the Olene's Fastest Lap Road Award, and here to present that is Mats Larson. He's the head of racing in Sweden. Mats, go ahead and present this check.
Well done. Thank you for your job. Well done, Jared. Here's $500. It will get you a new pair of Olin's trucks.
Thank you very much to Olin's for supporting the event. I got to thank my sponsors. Unfortunately, I'm not running Olin's. I'm running Race Tech for Moto Station, Jimmy Wood. But I really appreciate all the support that you guys are doing for us, and look forward to collecting some more checks from you.
All right, the fireworks go off, and man, Jared's just picking up some more money, and had a great night here. We have a few more awards to get taken care of here at Austin. I hope everybody has a great day tomorrow. MotoGP just up the hill at COTA.
Yeah, it's a great weekend. Hopefully we've kicked it off in good fashion. Hopefully this will be the first of many here in association with the Circuit of the Americas. I'm sure a lot of heads are going to get put together to make this thing better in the future.
All right, I believe Heather's ready to give Jared some more money. Let's go back to the victory podium once again. This will be the Lucky 13 Award. Heather?
That's right, guys. More money going your way, Jared. You were the Lucky 13 award winner, which means you were leading on lap 13. And now this check, you actually get $1,000. Hey, always good to have extra cash in your pocket, right?
Once again, thanks to McElroy Packaging for, helping out, leading halfway. If I wouldn't have, some restarts can be judgy, so thank you so much. Big hats off to my entire team. I forgot to thank Bel-Ray Oils, a big sponsor of ours, Recluse Clutches, NGK Spark Plugs. Just huge thank you to my entire team. They mean the world to me, and they're the ones that got me this.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
All right. Also, congratulations. I don't know if we'll be able to catch up to this rider, but our Harley-Davidson Pole Setter Award picks up an extra $250. That, of course, is the Bullet. Brad Baker, our factory Harley rider, who came up a little bit short, but he picks up an extra $250 from Harley-Davidson as the Harley-Davidson Pole Setter Award. I believe that might be all the awards. I'm not sure. We also have a MotoBat Hard Charger Award. I'm not sure if they quite have that one ready to go. Chris, your final thoughts here in Austin?
Well, I tell you what, you got to give all the riders of the AMA Pro Flat Track Circuit, not only GNC1, but certainly GNC2 as well, for navigating a very tough racetrack tonight. I thought it was fantastic to see the level of talent that these guys displayed tonight. This was not an easy racetrack. It wasn't an easy design. It was something certainly new for them. But kudos to all the racers for coming out, giving it a shot, and congratulations to our winners, Andrew Luker and Jared Mies, on their victories.
Great night of racing. Appreciate all the fans for coming out here to COTA, and hope everybody has a great day tomorrow. For you fans watching on fanschoice.tv, don't forget the next race is coming up May 14th, the Law Tigers AMA Pro Arizona Mile at Turf Paradise, Scottsdale, Arizona. Check it out. Check us out at amaproracing.com for more information, and be at every race you can, but if you can't, tune in to fanschoice.tv. We might be trying to wrap it up. I think there's a couple more awards to give out if they can get it figured out, but hopefully we can see what we can do down there in the pits. It gets a little hectic after the main events. You know how it is, Chris. You won 78 races, and everybody wants to come over and talk to you and see what's going on, and a lot of VIPs down there in the pit area signing autographs and enjoying the atmosphere here at COTA.
Yeah, certainly, still people hanging out here in the pit area, certainly some in the VIP having a good time. This was a great first-time event for AMA Pro Flat Track here, and hopefully we'll see some more again here in the near future.
Well, all right. On behalf of Heather DeBow, Kim Kuhn, the 7-time champ Chris Carr, I'm Scotty Dubler. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here in Austin. Congratulations again to Jared Meese, the first ever winner of the Grand National here at the Circuit of the Americas. Thanks a lot for coming. We'll see you in Arizona.